You are watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. It is mailbag time. You got questions, I got answers. This comes from our live show that we do on Wednesday afternoons where people super chat us. They use the hashtag Seahawks, and we answer their questions in real time. We will open up the mailbag here in just a moment. Before we do, want to make sure not only you're subscribed to Seahawks Today, but also that you have your noties turned on as well, that you're a part of the Noti gang. Those are the folks that are the first to know when we have new content here on the channel. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. If the Seahawks make a move, we're going to make a video as quick as we can and talk about it here on the channel. That way the Noti gang is the first to know exactly what's going on. Subscribe now for free, turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We'll get started with today's show. The Smitty Committee checks in. Great question from the Smitty Committee. Saw Geno was working out with Antonio Brown. Any chance we sign AB? Also, will Smitty be working for CT ESPN in his next job? Hashtag Seahawks. All right, Smitty Committee. The answer, no. Antonio Brown is not coming to Seattle. There is truth to this, that Geno was working out with Antonio Brown this past week. But I would not make anything of it. Zay Flowers was there as well. Does that mean that Zay Flowers is coming to Seattle on top of that? Of course not. Ravens aren't moving on from him. Antonio Brown will never play another down in the National Football League ever again. He is a crazy man, a nut job. It ain't happening. Will Smitty be working for CT ESPN? I hope not. I hope Smitty stays around here. CT ESPN, give him credit where credit's due. Antonio Brown's media company, if you will. They've been breaking some stories. They've been doing a good job. It's been very entertaining, CT ESPN. All the best to them, but to my knowledge, Smitty's not going anywhere. He's not going to CT ESPN, but thanks for the question. Should the Seahawks sign Antonio Brown? We're going there? Okay. S for sign, P for pass. Pass, hard pass for me. It's not happening. What do you think? Let us know. S for sign, P for pass. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less. Whether you're talking rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, maybe it is birdies in golf, all sorts of different categories to choose from. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS for $100 deposit match on your first entry. And here's what I got. Looking ahead to the start of the NFL season. DK, they have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards this season. Lamar Jackson to have more than 3,600.5 passing yards this season. If both those hit and I put $100 in Prize Picks, we're talking about making some serious cash here, folks. I mean, what are you waiting for? Play along with me. I could turn 20 into 60 just like that with Prize Picks, folks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS for $100 deposit match. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Legion of Boom forever. Any chance the Seahawks trade DreMont Jones after drafting Byron Murphy? It's interesting, right? DreMont Jones coming off a down year. A lot of hype and excitement about Byron Murphy. I think Byron Murphy's got the potential to one day be an all-pro at his position. I love the pick of Byron Murphy. But as far as DreMont Jones goes, I don't know why anyone would want to take on that contract. He is greatly overpaid. If the Seahawks had to do it over again and go back to last free agency, they would have never paid that money to DreMont Jones for the lack thereof of production that he gave the Seahawks defense last year. So I think that John Schneider is going to be graceful, and he's going to say to DreMont Jones, we are giving you one more chance, and one more chance only, to get this right and to play at a high level and to continue your career here in Seattle. If not, then they'll move on after next year and look at other options. But right now, DreMont Jones isn't going anywhere. In fact, I actually like where the Seahawks D-line kind of stacks up right now. With him, Jaron Reed, Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, all of a sudden you got a nice D-line group here. DreMont Jones, with the talent around him, no excuses. No ifs, ands, or buts. He should have a nice bounce back year this year, I would hope. Now, let's ask you, should the Seahawks trade DreMont Jones? Why for yes, in for no, weigh in Let us know if you think it is time to move on from the Seahawks pass rusher. Richard writes in, do you think Sam Howell has that dog in him to take the job from Geno Smith and be the QB1? No, I don't. I always like when we talk about having that dog in you, though, right? I'll say this. Sam Howell, what would it take, essentially? He's not going to win the job in training camp. It's not an open competition, for one. But two, the way I look at it is that Sam Howell, it's going to have to be a situation where Geno either struggles or gets hurt, and then he gets his opportunity, and then he's going to have to play so well that they don't take it away from him and go back to Geno. I just don't see all those things unfolding here. I think there's a very good chance Geno doesn't play all 17 games. He got hurt last year, not once but twice. But I would be surprised if Sam Howell played well enough to keep that job in Seattle. But thanks for the question, Richard. Seth writes in, what's your thoughts on Tyrese Knight? We got a lot of criticism, but he did lead all of FBS players in solo tackles. Could have a lot of potential. Okay, so when it comes to Knight, first off, leading the country in tackles is one of the most pointless stats you can lead any category. Maybe the most pointless stat to lead in football, okay, when it comes to tackles, right? Every linebacker should be able to tackle well. That shouldn't be an issue for every linebacker out there. But still, nonetheless, led the nation in tackles, was very good in Conference USA, first-team selection. I thought it was a reach to get him when they did in the fourth round, but I like the potential project that he takes on. He's a superb athlete. He's got the athleticism. He's not being asked to start. He's being asked to replace Devin Bush. That's fine with me. Let's see what he can do and kind of go from there. I would not be surprised if next season we're talking about Knight as one of the Seahawks starting linebackers. Trey writes, do you think any corners will be moving to safety-type position due to McDonald running the defense? It's kind of already happened. Kobe Bryant. I don't think Kobe Bryant's moving back to corner. I think he's a safety full-time, long-term now going forward. That's the only one I see with that move there. And I think the Seahawks are going to give some three high safety looks with this Mike Macdonald defense, kind of like what we saw last year with the Ravens, what they did with Kyle Hamilton and Geno Stone and Marcus Williams. I think that Kobe Bryant is going to play that role of sorts, kind of like Kyle Hamilton did in that sense. So Kobe Bryant, it's already happened. He's not moving back. I think he's there to stay at the safety spot, and we'll see what he can do. Peter writes in, how do you feel about this current Seahawks roster? And what changes/additions would you make to make this team better? I feel pretty good. I think this roster's headed in the right direction. I think this is a better team than what the Seahawks had last year. Last year, the Seahawks had a 9-8 team that underachieved. Mike Macdonald was hired, and the big reason why Pete Carroll's gone was because of the underachievement. It's to get this team to play to their potential, right? And so if you have a better roster and you play to your potential next year, then there's very good reason to be optimistic about this group. Now, Geno's not your long-term solution. Eventually, you're going to need to find a franchise quarterback. It would be nice if you had a solid second tight end next to Noah Fant. And there are some questions on the offensive line, but overall, it's a job well done by Schneider and McDonald with what they've had to work with this roster with limited cap space this offseason. Teddy G writes, how do you think Mike Macdonald orders his coffee? Well, I'll say this. I am a black coffee guy myself. I like my coffee dark as hell, be as bold and as strong as possible, and maybe an espresso shot or two to begin the morning. I think creamer is for the weak. You don't need milk. You don't need sugar. Drink your coffee like a man. Drink it black, right? Mike Macdonald is a tough son of a bitch, okay? Mike Macdonald, I would not want to get a fight with Mike Macdonald. I am of the belief, just with his mindset and his attitude, he's definitely got to be a black coffee drinker. He separates the men from the boys, right? Mike Macdonald's a tough dude. Subscribe now to Seahawks Day, continuing Seahawks coverage all off season long. I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.